Bogey!
Oh my god, no wonder.
Did he ever miss? Let's put shade.
Oh my god!
Milutinov! Man!
Wow.
No time for losers.
Are you sure you're gonna wanna listen to yourself
are
sing?
the champions of the world.
I mean, this is harder to cut than the net on the court. I just have one question for the Natas. Why you always have to bring up Panathinaikos?
Because 7 stars.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Basket News Retro back on your screens and back with a historical game, the very first title from Fenerbahce. I think there's no better time to rewatch that game in 2017 than right now when they won their second title. This is the peak Obradovic era, so without further ado, let's get it right into it.
Olympiacos fans be like, hey, we just lost so many Final Fours and you want to watch us another final loss?
We start with the main stars of the show.
So 8 against 5 tonight, right?
Oh my god.
As usual.
So for the first time ever, the Final Four was hosted by Istanbul. It wasn't a real home court of Fener because they're playing in Ulker Arena. This was used by Efes, Sinan Erdem Dome. By the way, the same year the Eurobasket was also hosted in Sinan Erdem Dome. But of course, it was full of Turkish fans. Quite unusual thing when Olympiacos is playing the final, but you know, it's been held in Istanbul. And I heard that even on Fenerbahce's way to the arena, fans just packed the streets with the fireworks, with the flares. I mean, they just fully packed streets. They needed some police help just to get through the mass of people to reach the arena. And they were
Nice.
almost late. And they were like, you know, guys, let us go. And they were like, no, let's celebrate. What? What celebrate? What celebration? We have to win the Final Four and we need to win the title. So, you know, the celebration of the title started even before the final game.
You know why I wanted to watch this game? Because this is, I think, the peak of Zeljko Obradovic in Fenerbahce, obviously. Because when he came, it took a few years for him to make it to the final. The year before, they lost against CSKA, if I'm not mistaken. They lost in the final, I think, in the year before. This year, they made the final again under some tough circumstances. They actually had to beat Panathinaikos without home court advantage. They swept them. They made the Final Four, and this is Zeljko's, to this day, last EuroLeague title.
Yeah, and actually that was a tough season for Fener. After the first 6 games, Fenerbahce was trashed by Baskonia. They lost by 34 points away. And after that game, Zeljko wanted to resign from the team.
Wow.
He went to the president of the organization. He said, I'm done. I don't think that I'm the right driver for this car. I don't feel, you know, good. I don't feel that I'm making an impact. And you know what was the response by the president? Zeljko, here's a new extension for you.
Okay.
Wow.
In the most critical point of the season, when coach, you know, felt really bad about the team, about the situation, he got an extension, and that was basically a turning point. Suddenly the team started winning. It was really bad stretch for Fener. They lost 3 games in a row. But then after that, after the Zeljko's kind of unconfirmed resignation, the team just pulled off.
A few interesting things I completely forgot. Ken Birch was playing for this team. Like I forgot
Yeah.
he played in Europe so early
Yeah.
into his
Like-
career.
Spanulis now is a Monaco coach.
Yeah.
Manzares, last season, he was playing in Italian 3rd division.
Okay.
Papanikolaou, of course, still there in the same place.
Boggy.
And Cam Birch is now playing, just won the EuroLeague for Fener.
Mighty Mouse, Bobby Dixon, aka Ali Mohammed.
He was my favorite player, I think, that year.
You like those undersized guys, huh? And Ekpe Euro. This is probably his best season ever in his life, I think, because he was playing like he got the MVP, a little bit of a spoiler, but this was his peak, going back to NBA after that. But yeah, interesting to see these guys still in the EuroLeague, but in different circumstances now. You know, this game might not be very entertaining, spoiler alert, but I'll say this, it's a turning point because Fenerbahce, first of all, won the very first title. Second of all, this was the last Final Four for Olympiacos. The end of...
Ooh, look at the fans.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, man.
Okay,
but
yeah, no, that's all right. We give that the spotlight. Nah, this is not a usual Final Four. If every Final Four looked like that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But this is what you would get in a final series. You would get
Exactly.
a full arena of fans
I
jumping
hope
up and
EuroLeague
down.
is watching. Where is EuroLeague? I hope EuroLeague is watching.
But yeah, also this was the very first season of the new format that we're still on right now, with the round robin system, every team playing every team twice. So this is a turning point in history.
And I think it was the last EuroLeague final for Spanulis as a player. And as you mentioned, the last EuroLeague title for Zeljko Bradovic.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
my
how
gosh.
you start. That's how you start.
a scripted play.
Very first play, man.
Yeah, a back screen for the center who just jumped. A classic a couple of years ago.
That's how you set the tone for the title
Yeah.
game, huh?
That's why Zeljko is the GOAT.
Oh my god, you play
All,
Manzarek
all
in the
these little
starting five.
details.
Kim Birch, up until this Final Four, 2025 Final Four, he lost all the final games he played, starting from the high school, NCAA. He had some other final games, this one in 2017, and then he finally got his chance to lift the trophy in
This
2025.
year, wow. Okay, redemption.
Oof, nice pass.
Who's that? Kalinic?
Yep.
By the way, this is back-to-back finals for Fener. A year ago, in 2016, they lost to CSKA in overtime. In the game they believe they were supposed to win. There was some officiating controversy as well. And after that last final game, a lot of guys of Fenerbahce were crying in the locker room, and they kind of made a promise among themselves because this core stayed for years together, and they made a promise among themselves that hey, we're staying in the team because we have to win the title. And for instance, you see the guy Bogdan Bogdanovic, it was his last EuroLeague
Yep.
game before moving to the NBA. He already had a big NBA interest before this season, but he said, hey, I cannot leave Europe without winning the EuroLeague trophy. So he he kept with his promise. He won the EuroLeague, and then
Okay.
he went to the NBA.
You could have stayed here for a while if things didn't go the right way, like if you have this goal. But I think it's just something he said after winning, you know. You can say that after you win.
Euro and Vesely in the starting five
Bogi.
against Birch and Papa.
Oh.
No, it's Printezis, yeah.
Okay, maybe this is prime Jan Vesely? I don't know. Would you say so?
Prime Vesely was when he won the EuroLeague MVP award, right? So basically,
A year after?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that's his like
That's
couple year peak.
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Although he's still elite, it's actually crazy. It's 2025 and he's still big figure in Barcelona.
How much contact there is on those paint plays. Look at
You think game-
Printez is going with Wesley there.
Game has gone soft, is that what you're saying, Augustus?
No, just I'm not comparing.
Or the refs are a bit different, huh?
2 on Vesely, Kalinic open again.
Another like
Kalinic
cross-court
makes
pass,
again.
another three-pointer. It's an interesting lineup.
Another one.
Yeah.
Another
That's
one.
crazy.
Completely same way.
In this game, Fener shot better from 3-point range than from 2-point range. They made 13 threes.
I see why.
I mean, there's always like 2 people on Udo, on Wesley in
Yeah.
the paint. So, I mean, and Olympiacos rotations is like you make
Would
one
you-
pass and there's like a wide open man every time. We
And
saw
okay,
that.
you can bet with Kalinic. His season average
Yeah.
was like 31, but with Bobby Dixon, I mean, it's
Not a great decision.
It's very little time left for Spanolis.
Oh,
But there's one guy on that team that you give the ball when there's less than 4 seconds left, you know?
hey, but that was a great play. Baseline out of bounds. Just they draw up a set. Spanulis read the screens perfectly. How the defense was playing. Boom, wide open.
you know.
Hey,
no
alright,
foul?
Come on, get up.
That's a flop.
Bogey.
Damn. If you're having your last game in the EuroLeague, I think that's how you started.
Look
The
at
way
his
he
face,
did.
man. I think that Bogdan Bogdanovic was made in the lab. I mean, he's a
In what?
in the laboratory.
Oh,
I mean, I think he's a perfect player that you can only build basically. Warrior, great approach, skill, mindset. And like he is actually the figure to follow. I heard that he was the guy who believed like blindly in his mentors. One of them, of course, was Zeljko, and he was so dedicated. Every freaking night, and Ulker Arena was open to Fenerbahce players basically anytime they wanted. Every freaking night he was working individually. He was always showing up for extra shots. He had his own routine, and like what he achieved in his career is just basically determination, passion to the game, and just believing in his mentors. Like very open-minded guy, very polite, very nice person, but at the same time, you know, so focused on his goals. So it's crazy. I always admire watching him, whether it was in the EuroLeague or Serbian national team, and just like guys follow, you know, Kobe's mantra. They have some other idols. I think all European kids should follow what Bogdan Bogdanovic did and still does at this level.
Kostas, Lukas.
I don't remember Eric Green,
With the
for
ball.
example. Another one. Oh my
Are
God.
you
Kalinic.
kidding me?
Relax,
Three
man.
threes
He's
from
hot
Kalinic
here.
in the first quarter. Wow.
Even Spanulis can't believe it, man.
Smooth was like, this guy just made 3 threes? What?
He's got 15 PR.
Papa
already.
Nicolau off the dribble. Okay.
Oh.
Nothing has changed.
Back in the day, I mean,
Nothing
things
has
has changed. He's not making off the dribble pull-up threes,
Sometimes
step
he
back
does.
threes.
Sometimes he does when you need it. Veteran.
He can make a spotted three nowadays, and he will make when Olympiacos needs one. But this jersey, by the way, what do you
the
think
hell?
about that?
Well, how is it so narrow at the back? It's like a tank top, like you go to the gym with
But
to
I
show
think
off your
it
back
was
muscles.
it was during those times really I don't know how to say it, tight jerseys were super popular like really small ones. I remember I was still playing and you would usually get a shirt that's like super fit, so it doesn't really, the shirt does not allow you to actually get on a couple of kilos in the summer, because then you get a jersey in like August and September and the team will be like, what the fuck, how many kilos did you add during the summer from Europe?
Oh, what the pass, man!
Milo
Was that
Jokic?
Jokic?
Yeah.
Was that
Milo
Jokic?
Nikola Jokic or
Was Jokic playing for
Milutinov?
Olympiacos? What the fuck?
That was a crazy pass. Look at that.
Come on, guys.
Oh!
It's
some
a
flair.
simple pass. It's a simple pass.
I mean, still from Milutinov, you don't see that very often.
oh, my best friend just made a basket.
Actually, Nunnally, I remember back in the day, I used to watch these YouTube videos. Nunnally was the worst rated NBA 2K card in 2016. And then I remember this season, I think he debuted for the Fenerbahce. So I knew him as like, in my teenage brain, as the worst player in NBA 2K. So I thought he was the worst. And then he came to the
Okay.
EuroLeague and he
And
was
won
pretty
it.
good.
He was
and won
actually
it.
great. He was
Yeah.
shooting threes like almost 50%. You knew that if he's getting quite an open shot, it's in. So it was a huge piece in this already stacked Fenerbahce roster.
Isn't he like a 50, 40, 90 for like his whole career?
I
in the
think
EuroLeague?
so.
He's
think
one
so.
of the few players. Or he's really close to it.
Yeah. Gigi with ponytail.
I wonder
was-
why you focused on his ponytail.
It was a big, let's say, item of his personality, that ponytail, and he actually cut that out after winning the title.
Oh, really? Are we not gonna watch some of this?
Nope.
Third time
Oh my
charm.
God,
No,
yeah.
fourth time.
No fouls. Nothing.
That was crazy.
That was like, what, 5 missed field goal attempts?
That's how you get your stats up.
Spanulis.
Or down. I mean, they missed 5 shots.
But you get some offensive rebounds. Come on, man.
We were used to Spanulis' heroics, but in that night, again, spoiler alert, he made only 2 field goals of 12. Okay, he made 8 assists, but
We already saw one, right?
yeah, so
Don't want to go.
Bogey!
Oh my God! No wonder.
did he ever miss?
No
Not
wonder.
in these highlights.
Man,
1.75 m, Bobby Dixon. He still is, or wasn't.
do you know his
He
story?
definitely did not grow.
Do you know his story? His brother was shot. Bobby Dixon had a brother who was 3 years older,
Yeah.
and his brother was shot when he was 13. His mom, after the funeral of his brother, his mom was handcuffed because she was a drug addict. His dad was also involved in drugs,
Wow.
and Bobby Dixon also was kind of a drug dealer when he was 18, and he went to this boot camp when he was 18, when he was playing for high school. And when he came back, he kind of, changed life,
Wow.
but basically he was coming off very tough environment.
Well, at this point, the game's still close.
Olympiacos in some kind of zone here to start the third quarter.
Is it like a
Yeah,
2-1-2?
Bobby Dixon does not really care about the defense you play.
When you overcome what Donatas just told about, I mean,
Yeah.
why do you care about
Sure.
anything
Pressure?
that the opponents? What pressure?
pressure?
What pressure are we talking about? I love the Vasilis Spanoulis quote actually as a coach about millionaires being tired. Similar perspective here.
I don't know if I agree with that one, but I mean, you can get tired emotionally from playing the game 10 months.
Don't be soft.
the same day.
Moment.
It's not about being soft, man.
You think he
From
was
the
tired at this
basketball.
point of his
the
career?
hell?
There's
Oh my
no way
No.
he made that shot. Vasily, a fadeaway,
Off the
high
backboard.
arcing.
No, that was...
It reminds
The
me
bank is working on the
Aurelijus
final 4
Zhukovskas
hours.
fadeaway 3 against Tim Duncan in 24 Olympics. It was a big team in general. A lot of basically borderline NBA players. Guy like Nunnally coming off the NBA, Udo coming off the NBA, Pero Antic, Gigi Datome also coming off the NBA, Bogdan Bogdanovic going to the NBA.
Jan Vesely too.
Jan Vesely. I mean, it was a great team.
I do like a little...
Just put shade.
Oh my god!
Milutinov!
Wow! Wow!
On his head.
Oh my god, and that could have been a foul as well because there was some contact there.
Can we call Nikola after this and ask, does he have like a
A poster?
a poster of this
He
dunk
must.
in his bedroom?
No, but his jumper is just so smooth.
Of course, Vesely getting a technical foul. Okay.
I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
poster kind of made him reconsider things in life, So he came and said, Milutinov, you gave me existential crisis now.
Okay.
I mean, the guy just dunked on you. Now you're not allowed to get an offensive rebound if there was one.
And Milutinov?
Oh, yeah, it's like both
Come
ways.
on now.
Come on.
Come on.
What did Milutinov do there?
Come on, cook him in ISO. What are you doing? Or just do that.
Hey.
Why can't we see this in current Olympiacos? Give the ball to the big man.
Yeah, he was younger. He was younger. No, less injuries.
Still.
Man, that's solid. That's an
Ve-
amazing game by
Vesely
Milutinov.
is getting cooked, man. Pero Antic.
Fener fans are starting to
This
celebrate their victory.
play, such an amazing play. The face cut, the banana cut from the corner when you don't expect it, and the Tome makes a free. That was Zeljko like trademark, and he still uses to this day sometimes.
I think fans started crying early.
They're almost in tears. Yeah. By the way, Bogdanovic's transfer story was interesting because he was coming off Partizan in 2014. And the same time he joined the team, Bojan Bogdanovic, who was the face of Fenerbahce, went to the NBA.
Yep.
And Fenerbahce agreed to let Bojan Bogdanovic to the NBA only with one condition. If he goes to the NBA, we want Bogdan Bogdanovic. And the thing is that they shared the same agency, Wasserman. So they managed to make this deal happen. They allowed Bojan Bogdanovic to go to the NBA to have a great NBA career. And Bogdan came from Partizan. He was young, inspiring player, but he wasn't this big project like, I don't know, Luka Doncic or whatever. But he proved himself at this level, and he was an amazing player for Fenerbahce.
What a block. Ekpeyudo.
Bit naive.
Third block as well.
Defense to offense. Oh, okay.
Spanoulis recovered
back.
Spanoulis against Lukas. Lukas left Olympiacos. Fenerbahce people convinced Lukas to join Fenerbahce because they said, hey, do you want to get out of Spanoulis' shadow? Do you want to prove that you can be a star?
Another
No
one.
way! No way!
Another
This
one.
guy. Udo was a cheat code in the EuroLeague. Look at this.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is why I love European basketball.
It's coming.
Look at the reach from Yudo.
It's coming.
Wow.
Oh no.
Slapped against the backboard.
It's unfair.
Perfect timing.
It's unfair.
Perfect timing.
That one too.
Get that.
Hey, Papa
shit
Nicolau,
out
what
of
foul
here.
are you talking about?
Amazing defense he played. Some offensive rebounds. It's Lucas all the way.
This is a signature
Kick
Lucas thing.
out.
How he
GG.
jumps up.
Let me do that. GG. Dato me. Triple.
But this pass, he always does this. He jumps up and then somehow from like a very low angle.
Yeah, the big guy jumps too, and
Yeah.
he just goes around him.
Spanoulis against Udo. 1-on-1. Of course you're passing the ball away.
Sidestep.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
a tough
no
shot.
chance
There's
to make
no
that
way
shot.
he's making that shot.
No, okay.
Ooh.
And Ekpeyudo at the other end.
Man.
I remember watching this game, and I thought after that, oh, what a dominant performance by Ekpeyudo. Like, you could see him, he was the main character on both sides of the floor. Offensively, defensively, we saw he started with some passes, he made some shots. Defensively, you know, he was always there. I remember immediately, like, yeah, he was the guy.
He was super smart player, and he was described like a big man with his size having guard hands. The way his hands worked defensively was a cheat code, and at the same time, he was a big player off the court as well. I heard that he had a really interesting personality, and the best. How to say comparison, the best description to describe his personality was like Nigel Hayes Davis could have been his brother in terms of how he approached life. A lot of situations, they would get along really well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you what was this like big player personality off the court as well. Thanks for explaining.
Nothing bad with Nigel Hayes Davis, but let's say they're interesting guys.
And interesting is not usually the word.
Nigel now is texting me.
No, he's
I
gonna-
can see that coming.
He's gonna save this clip, and like you said, he saves clips. He's gonna play.
He
it
don't
back.
need to save clips anymore. He won the EuroLeague, he won the Final Four MVP, he proved everything. No more clip saving.
Yeah,
in his life.
that 50 is still not legit, but okay.
Man,
Clip that.
Oh, come on, I'm kidding. Not.
you're actually right.
Bogey wanted to shoot that three
Oh.
immediately.
He did Lucas
Pero
pass.
Antic.
Man,
They shot 50+% from the three-point line in this game, in the final game.
this guy was crying all the time.
Yep.
The way this roster
Katilis.
has been constructed was amazing. They were deep in every position, a lot of versatility, a lot of options for Zeljko Bradovic. And I heard that it was not like a top budget EuroLeague team. There were a couple of more teams with huge budgets. For instance, Panathinaikos was a great team that you mentioned. It was unexpected because Fenerbahce had a tough season, and this Panathinaikos team was amazing, coached by Xavi Pascal, Mike James, Nick Kalatis, Chris Singleton, Borussis was playing, somebody else. They had a really, really good roster, home court advantage, but Fenerbahce somehow managed to click. And as usually happens with Zeljko, peak at the right time.
But to be fair, Fener had a lot of injuries in the middle of the season, and
okay.
their guys returned when it mattered in the playoffs. Then you had the full roster. I think Boggy was out for like a majority of the winter.
Okay.
So that's the thing, you know. They went to, I think they went to 5th or to 6th seed, and that's why, like, because in the regular season they were missing players. So that's the reason why.
I just have one question for Donatas. Why you always have to bring up Panathinaikos?
Because 7 stars.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this isn't the 2012 final with an amazing comeback. So this game is kind of over.
What defense are they playing? I know they're desperate because it's 5 minutes plus 19, but
It's
giving up 3-pointers to Bogi Bogdanovic.
It's a 3-pointer, it's a timeout. It's a 3-pointer, it's a timeout.
No, but look, there's like one pass.
Yeah.
They were in some kind of a zone there.
Yeah, they
One
were
screen,
playing
one
the zone.
pass. There's not even an overload there. Pero Antic is under the basket. And Bogdanovic. I don't know, smoke
He
a
was
cigarette before a
disrespected.
shot and then just make it.
Not the right Serbian to smoke cigarettes. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I know that much. Whatever.
You're good. You're good.
Whatever.
You're good.
Whatever. Another open free.
Oh. Home
Team is
runs
making shots like this, friendly
4
bounces like
of
that.
5 from 3
in the title game.
Can't really win.
from a guy who was like a
Okay.
mediocre shooter. Oh,
Easy block for Udo.
I think this is the
Did he
fifth.
show
Oh, he did.
Mutombo's
He
finger?
did.
Yeah.
Because he just made the 5th block. So
Which is the EuroLeague finals record.
Wow.
5 blocks. So
they're
no
getting
one-
standing ovation with 3 minutes to play.
and I
Why
mean,
not? Plus 18.
Ekpe Udo will win the EuroLeague finals Final Four MVP with just 10 points, but he did everything else on the court as well. Yeah,
Like what?
4 or 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, 10 points.
36 PAR, I guess, the best in 7 or 10 years. Something like that. Quite impressive, huh?
And it's crazy for me how his career just like landslided down after this. Oh wow, okay.
And that's his 2nd field goal of the game. Wow.
That's crazy. But Ekpe Udo after this went to the NBA, averaged like 2.6 points in both seasons. Came back, then went to China, went to
Virtus, but he
Europe.
was
Yeah.
injured already, so
Yeah.
we didn't see this old good Ekpe Udo
So
anymore.
to be honest, this might be the last good game by Ekpe Udo. like
Joker's mad. They're plus 19.
he's literally getting his
90
ninth,
seconds to play. He's
ninth
getting
title, and he's mad about some detail that they didn't execute.
Hey, but you saw the stat before the game? It was 15 seasons for Zeljko in the EuroLeague, 8 titles.
Yep.
That was his 16th season and
Ninth.
9th title.
mad. The 5 different teams.
Higher than
That's
a
elite.
50%
That's
chance
why he is good.
of winning the EuroLeague. If that's not, under the domination in the vocabulary, I'm not sure what should be. 9 in 16
Wow.
years. Look at this.
See?
Wow.
Of Fenerbahce fans.
This looks more like a football stadium.
True.
The way
Look who is
that's
entering the court.
Anthony Bennett.
Former number 1 NBA draft pick Anthony Bennett. And was interesting story because Zeljko approached Anthony Bennett before the substitution and he said, hey,
You wanna
I
play
don't
a
want to
little bit?
disrespect you because, if you don't want to play, it's okay. I can understand you. I don't want to disrespect
Ah.
you. Anthony Bennett said, it will be an honor for me to be a part of the championship game.
Wow.
So for sure, I'm going in. And that's the thing about Anthony Bennett. He is probably considered by many as a bust, but he was a great person, great kid, well educated, and Fener didn't have any problems with the guy.
I'm gonna say it. He was a victim of circumstances. The draft was kind of shit, that lottery, and he just got drafted because there was no clear number
Yeah.
one. And then when you're the number 1 pick, the pressure is on. You underperform, and man,
And he also had some physical issues with one of his knees. He basically played with one knee, and actually he still plays to this day in Taiwan.
didn't know that.
I'm looking at the top 10 of that year draft. There was Oladipo, 2nd pick. Porter Jr., Cody Zeller, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, Ben
the hell?
McLemore, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Trey Burke, and CJ McCollum at the 10.
CJ.
I think only 3 players are still active in the NBA.
Giannis?
Or 2.
Was selected at 15, Dennis Schroeder 17th, Shane Larkin 18th, the man, the legend, the man of triple zeros in the box score, Tony Snell at 20th.
Okay, now let's go back to the EuroLeague. Augustus.
Yeah, my bad.
That's it.
They're still trying to score. Wow. Is that it's Vasilis Stolopoulos? I think.
Yeah, Toliopoulos was there. Yeah.
He played nearly over 1 minute and he managed to attempt 3 shots. So
Wow.
That's the spirit.
Flares right away. Oh man. I
nice
think
emotions.
this, well, obviously because it's at home, but also this was the very first championship, and it was more of a thing for them. I think they were building up with Zeljko with the final performance year before.
True.
And they hadn't ever won it, and this was like a climax of for Fenerbahce fans. This was the best day in their lives. I'm not sure they were as happy about this title that they just won as they were about the first one.
They were, because in the parade this year, they estimated it was 400,000 people in their parade. Back in the day in 2017, of course, it was huge. It was the first ever title by the Turkish team, but still, it was like 200,000 people or something in the street celebrating the title of the team.
Okay.
But this year, 400,000. Can you imagine? And interesting story, when they had this parade, they had a double-decked bus, but as soon as they were about to start the parade, it was just broken. So they had to switch the bus. It was a big panic. They brought the team bus, but of course it didn't have a roof and nothing, to celebrate. And they were like, okay, let's have a trophy inside the bus. But fans started demanding them, just to get out. So some started like crashing the roof of the bus, but some just opened the window and went on the roof to celebrate with the fans.
Okay.
Wow.
It was a bit chaotic celebration, but still, a day to remember, of course.
Same guy who raised the trophy this year, raised the trophy back in 2017. But the CEO is different.
True.
The president, the CEO, whatever his role was.
During the playoffs.
are the champions.
We
are the champions.
No time for losers.
Are you sure you're gonna wanna listen to yourself sing?
The champions of the world.
This is actually the moment that actually got stuck in my head. The only moment from this final, because the rest of it was like, the actual game wasn't that impressive. But I remember watching this game live, and this I remember very clearly. I was like, wow, this is happening. I can't believe it, even though I don't really care about Gigi Datome, but like, he's gonna cut his long ass hair. This is incredible.
Hey, look, Jesus about to lose his hair.
Oh my.
With the worst scissors probably that you should do this way. This is for toenails, maybe. I don't know. Maybe for like tape or something. not for hair.
Yeah, that's for cutting the tape on the ankle.
And that's when he got younger, like by 10 years, I think.
But wasn't the deal was that if they won again the next year, I think the deal was that he shaves his beard. I remember this as well. This was the thing that...
I mean, this is harder to cut than the net on the court.
Wow.
The Tome is in pain. Look at his face, man. He's suffering.
he's losing half of his personality there, so...
Hey.
This is
I
like...
think
I
Pedro has his hair somewhere at his
sure.
house.
Can
he
we
could make
find
a
that
little
out?
wig for himself, actually.
Can we find that out?
And
Did Pedro
Wow.
Antes put that on his head?
oh my god.
He looks terrible.
He looks
horrible,
He
man.
looks like prehistoric human, actually, from the cave.
Yeah, he looks like in that movie where Tom
My
Hanks
God.
was left on an island.
looks
That
like
one,
a
or actually
homeless guy,
Jumanji.
actually.
I think he looks like he's from Jumanji.
Anyone else got a better comparison?
Yeah,
In the comment
write
section
it in
down
the
below.
comments. Well, not the most memorable final, like I said before the game, I guess.
But a lot of good stories, huh?
A lot
Yeah.
of good stories, a lot of things that you might have forgotten that we brought back to your memory. Anything else, guys? Should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
It's about time.
It's
Do
about
you?
time. Guys, make sure to like this video. As always, suggest what we should watch on our next episode. It can be FIBA games. I think we're gonna get into one of those next month because obviously Eurobasket is coming. So drop your suggestions there, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.